Are you not going on?
I think everyone... Yeah, can you hear me? Great. So I think everyone in this room, and especially projects, come across the following questions. Where to take investments from? How to increase community members organically? How to outstand from more than 10,000 projects on CoinGecko? And what options actually you have to attract the real traders? So my name is Vinor. I'm CMO at Liquidity Solutions. And today we're going to speak about two main aspects of the crypto service business. These aspects are fundraising and marketing, and market making and liquidity management. But before we move forward, let us say some words about who we are. So Liquidity Solutions has been on the market almost for 4 years. We have more than 90 existing clients. We've conducted 20 fundraising campaigns, and we are operating on more than 200 exchanges. So let's start with the very first step of the project birth period. And initially, after the idea is set up and we're trying to build our MVPs, we are definitely looking for the funds to raise. And in our company, we have 4 stages before we try to pitch to our investors the project. So at the beginning, at the very first stage, we conduct the due diligence. So this is the stage where we take all information about the project, try to outline the unique value proposition, their target audience, their picture of a customer, and we're also sharpening their documentation and especially the white paper and the website. After that, we go to the next stage where we try to build a financial documentation. So by financial documentation, I mean the tokenomics. Alongside the tokenomics, there's a pitch deck. I think if the investors are here, they will prove that the pitch deck is the main investing document. And in the pitch deck, every investor should find the answer to the question where the money is. After we built all this stuff, we are going to the next step, which is the analytics, and it's mostly based on your website, as we try to figure out and test different types of hypotheses and build A/B testing to just understand for us what is the best call to action, what are the best pictures, and what is and how the information best should be structured for the future consumers and investors. And the final stage is most crucial one. Before we just making any offer to our investors, we target them in the social media, so they should build the FOMO, and after we present the product, they have already some understanding. They have seen you before in some place, and we get from them a feedback just to understand what main weaknesses are that we missed, and overall, after that, we are ready for the pitching. So let's imagine we've collected our investments, and we are ready to build our product and work on the beta version, alpha version, and whatever it might be. But again, here arises another question: from where to take the consumers and the customers? And the only answer to this question is definitely the marketing. In our marketing strategy, we have 4 main weapons that we're using. The first one is social media, second, advertising, then it comes for the PR, and finally, the influencers. But before we dive into details with each of these aspects, let us clarify the key mistakes that every project should avoid at the very beginning. If you're trying to use some company whom you want to make your marketing, be very careful in choosing them. Because if you see such an offer, when somebody offering you the exact amount of members, followers, customers within a short amount of time, so be aware that it's 100% these numbers will be generated artificially. So as I promised, let's go and dive into the social media channels. So 2 biggest social media channels are Twitter and Telegram. So let's start with the Twitter. As you can see, this is the example of an arbitrary company in the Telegram, and we see that they have 12,000 members. That sounds quite impressive. But take a look at the second number. The number is 800 online. So here is the clear math that everyone should understand. In case if the members in the Telegram community are really organic, they have at least 18–20% of the online users. Definitely they could build artificially, but on the long-term perspective, they will be much lower. So yeah, be careful with it. Let's go second to the Twitter. Again, when you browse the web page and you see that 30,000 followers this Twitter page has, you think that it might be quite impressive. But when you scroll down, you see the 1 like, 6 likes, and the level of engagement is definitely generated artificially, because any project that has 30,000 followers cannot have such low level of engagement. So advertising. This is the example of one of our clients. They made advertising by themselves. So you can see that they spent 6.8 thousand euros, and the number of clicks was 2,000. So as it will be much easier for us to speak in dollars, let's break down these clicks into dollars. So the cost per click is $3.5. So that's a huge number. So this is only the click. This is not even your lead or your customer. And let's get down to the PR. PR may be used in 2 cases. First, if you're trying to build awareness and brand building, and you really want to attract the users, in this case, you're choosing the big companies, such as Cointelegraph and CoinDesk. They're quite costly, but believe me, they're worth it. Otherwise, if you want to work on the Google indexation and SEO, in this case, you can use it, as we call, Tier 2 and Tier 3 publishers, such as Forbes, Benzinga, Investing.com, and so on and so forth. And the final part are the influencers. Again, you can see here quite a big number of subscribers, 95K, but if we take a look at the number of views and the number of likes, we can definitely understand the situation is the same as it was in the previous channels. So again, be very careful. By the way, also stay patient, that by the end of the presentation, you will have a small gift from us. This is a professional tailored solution for the projects that might be interested in. So generally who we are. Originally, Coin Liquidity solution is acting like a bridge. So what we do, at first sight, we take your community members and convert them into your traders, because the cryptocurrency market consists of the community, as they're using the utility of the token, and the trading part, as they're trading in on the exchanges. And the process of how we're making it will describe in more details my colleague, Andrey, so please welcome Andrey.
Thank you, Vinor. Unfortunately, I have a little bit less time, so I'll try to wrap it up very quick. So every project reaches a certain level of their development where they have a question, how do we proceed further? And after you build all that foundation, the next logical step would be to go onto trading side. So when you have a token, essentially my department is in charge of 2 parts. We give help to projects to choose the best suitable exchange for them, and then we use market-making services to create favorable trading conditions and attract more traders. Now, if you obviously have a professional, and if you can get a professional advice in terms of the exchanges, you can ask them, and that's the best thing that you can do. But if you want to do some research on your own, you can use the following metrics to eliminate a lot of bad exchanges. And the first metric is API keys. Now, why it is important? It is important because this is the language that the software communicates with the exchange. And if it's in a bad condition, then you won't be able to have a good software communication, and your trading will be bad. The second metric and the third one, they are tied in together. This is wash trading, which is very popular, unfortunately, in crypto industry, and the relation of the volume to main pairs and altcoins. Example, if you have 1 billion volume on one exchange and 95% of that volume comes on BTC, ETH, then who trades altcoins, right? Why would you list your coin there? 0 fees, pretty simple. If you have 0 fees on the exchange, then you can run market making at no additional cost. If you do not have 0 fees, make sure you have an extra budget. The last but not least is SimilarWeb, which is tied up to geography. You can use these websites to check which is the actual geography and how many visitors each exchange has. Now let's get to the part 2, because I have only 1 minute, and I hope you understand me. So the second part is actually the market making, how we attract new traders. Obviously, when the coin just gets on the exchange, they barely have any trading, and they need to support that. They need to showcase that. Now this is an example where the coin or a token got onto the exchange, they had 0 volume, and suddenly it jumped to 40,000, almost 50,000. This shows us that they have 0 traders, real organic traders, and they most likely turned on the volume bot, which looks quite fake. And this is a bad case example. Now, this is how it will look on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, and it's very unattractive, right? Let's compare this example to this. This is a very great example, and this looks way more attractive. So if you stumble at this kind of project, you'd rather invest here than there. Now, quickly, 2 more examples that we had. XRT project, a great project, we worked with them. They had an initial setup of a small exchange, low liquidity and low trading activity. So what we did for them, we created favorable trading conditions and we achieved a great result of a top-tier exchange as Huobi. We moved them from Stacks to Huobi. And liquidity increased by 20 times, including their trading activity. And the last case that I want to showcase here is the student coin. And maybe some of you already met them. It will be just 30 seconds. Maybe you met them because they're around in conferences. So they had actually many exchanges. And the problem was that we had to identify the main markets so that we focus on them and put most effort there. And we achieved the volume growth on peak days up to $10 million. Now they have 2 main markets, which are KuCoin and Bittrex. And the price growth was quite good. X 25%, you can check it out. And as my colleague Vinor promised, we have a little treat for you. So if you scan the QR code, you fill in the information, and we will give you a free analytics advice based on your project or whichever project you want to have. Thank you very much.
Thanks.